Somebody said I was being cheap because I wouldn't buy, they were Reeboks, but these Reeboks had holes in them.
And, you know, don't let people call you cheap in the sense that don't let it affect you. Most people don't have a thorough understanding of what, what value really is.
Remotely, that seems to me it could be. Hey there, welcome back. Yes, we're still in our office. This is just a different window. Here we are right here. Thanks for coming back to our channel. Cheaper frugal, rich pauper. Is that possible? What? Rich pauper? That doesn't make any sense. All right, so this is not just some superfluous conversation that's meaningless, talking about cheaper, frugal, blah, blah, blah. It's really, really important. Let me explain why. The first thing I want to explain about this side of industrious frugality, which I may change to basically just rich pauper or rich frugal, it really is a rich way of thinking, and it's more practical. Look, there has been a whole side of society that grew up. I mean, when I was growing up, how many times was it drummed into your head? Folgers, it's mountain grown. Now, I never raised any coffee, but when I went to school, my math teacher said, but all coffee's mountain grown. And of course, these days, you just go to the internet and you see that all coffee's mountain grown. But how many of us knew any better back then? And so I'm saying that this is what we grew up with this kind of money that was thrown out in the advertising to drum it into our heads that if you buy this brand name, you're getting quality, okay? And so it doesn't surprise me that there are still people that think that, and I'm not saying that a brand name is not quality. What I am saying is that that's not the only thing to consider, okay? Because I learned decades ago not to buy the cheapest thing. You definitely are not being frugal if you buy the cheapest thing. I know when I was a young man or younger man, whenever I bought the cheapest thing, it always broke. So I finally figured it out. I had to go 1 or 2 steps above that. However, if you go too much further above that, there's an attrition ratio where your money, you're not getting as much bang for your buck. And that's true in a lot of things. For example, there was some wealthy expats that gave us name brand towels, and they're really nice towels. They're good quality towels, you can tell. They feel really fine and they're really nice. But my mom bought a brand new towel that was of the plush category, but not a name brand. And I'll tell you, I liked that plush towel better than the name brand towels. And the name brand towels were $200. And the plush category non-name brand towel, she got at a reduced sale for $3. And it was brand new. This was not a used towel. So my point is that I actually liked it better. It actually was fluffier, thicker, more comfortable. And I'm not saying that the name brand towel was not comfortable. But this particular towel was this other towel was just as comfortable, if not more comfortable. And so, talking about when some people see a name brand, I'm saying that we need to start thinking outside of the name brand, meaning that yes, if you can get the name brand at a discount, get it. But let me make a couple of examples. Somebody said I was being cheap because I wouldn't buy, they were Reeboks, but these Reeboks had holes in them. Take a look here, right? These shoes here. When you buy used and you're wanting to be frugal, you got to take a look at condition. Condition is huge. You can see that crack right there in the shoe. See here, you can see the wear right here, but it's the wear with a hole in it right there. So I'm going to ask her what she wants for it. Let's see what the surprise is going to be. A lot of people, they go around buying as if the only thing they've got to do is
buy used and just pay whatever the price is asked for. This is what we're running into here living abroad. Even though you have thrift shops, you have to be super careful in thrift shop. Now, to me, as someone that looks at these kinds of things, condition and value and all that, to me those are worth $2 because they're really not worth anything, because there's holes in them already and they're really not useful. Well, they're worn out Reeboks. You can put them on your fireplace mantle and look at them. You know, you can shine them up with some shiny shine coat on them and look at your Reeboks, but they're not useful. They're worn to the point of having holes in them. So let's see what she says. Hola, buenos dias. So she put the spin on about them being Reeboks, and I laughed and said, yeah, they're Reeboks with holes in them. Oh, she wants $6, which she could have asked a lot more for them. But she said, hey, they're Reeboks. She pointed to the good parts. Hey, they're in good condition. No, they're not. They got holes in them. They're useless. Okay, I don't care what name brand is on something that I can't use. I mean, you're talking about a practicality here. There's a practical issue here. The bottom line is that she wanted $6 for a pair of shoes that, to me, coming from this way of thinking, which is more practical, and it doesn't get swayed by the name of a name brand. The name brand isn't practical if, number one, I can't use it. It isn't any better than some other product I can get that's just as good a quality. Or number two, maybe I can get that name brand, but I can get it at a reduced price. But the idea that the shoes are Reebok, so you should buy them, and if you don't, you're just being cheap, well, that's just not so. And so this is born out of the kind of thinking that I've just explained. And I'm going to show you some more examples on this.
There you go.
All right, lifelong frugality aficionado. Talking about what I have experience in. I'm not saying I know it all. I'm just telling you, in our experience, you don't want to go. Frugality is not about buying the cheapest. And it's not, while in many cases you are buying used, you're not always buying used. For example, this blender here was available used in the area. There were several of them for sale. But after inspecting the condition of them, I noticed that they were very used, heavily used. You know, with electric items, the condition and use is very, very important. And they were asking $70. They're brand new on Amazon for $125 to $150, which may sound okay to some people, but I got a deal. I got an off-market price on this one for only $100. So it's not worth it to me to spend 3/4 of the new price on something that I could get many, many years of service. I could also go to Walmart. So you should pick up on something here. I'm aware of all the options, and that is one aspect of frugality that is very, very important. Always taking a little extra time to check and, you know, all the options available. And you do this as you normally do your shopping. So, but I could have gotten some other brand new blenders for half of what this one cost. But they would have been average run-of-the-mill blenders that in our kitchen, which we cook at home just about almost all of the time, and it would, it has to be able to withstand heavy use. And so this has got a much heavier motor on it. It's got an amazing Master Blaster blade on it. Look at that blade. That's like 3 regular blender blades. But anyway, it locks. This thing locks down here. So it has the qualities of a much more expensive blender, like a Vitamix, but yet it's a notch or two below that. But yet, so therefore, it still has the majority of the qualities of a much more expensive blender, which we used to have a Vitamix. But we did find a different brand here. So the lesson is to always weigh all of the options, and it doesn't mean, being a practitioner of frugality doesn't necessarily or always mean buying used or buying cheaper brands just because they're less money. This here will serve the purpose of our needs in our kitchen to be a heavy duty type of kitchen blender almost a commercial grade type and style, and yet for a really reasonable price for a brand new one. So no, I will absolutely not spend $70 on a used one. And don't let people call you cheap in the sense that don't let it affect you. Most people don't have a thorough understanding of what what value really is, and value has nothing to do with sometimes it does. There are brand names that are worth the money, but in many cases brand names is not necessarily the way to go. So anyway, all right.
And I want to add this, in case you think it's just about money. These wealthy expats that gave us the towels, I mean, I don't want to sound like it wasn't appreciated, but they had to give away their towels because they couldn't fit it, and the airlines changed their rules. And they had to give them away $200 towels. Lord knows we left behind a Vitamix in Italy because of these airline rules that we paid over $500. We had to have somebody bring us a Vitamix from the States to Ecuador because otherwise we would have had to pay $1,000 because that's how much they cost in Ecuador. We ended up leaving it to the landlord in Italy because we had to. We had no choice. Okay, and so you can take this kind of thinking and play it out into everything that you buy and everything that you do when it comes to your finances. And when you do that, what you end up with is high quality living and high quality items for a lot less money, which is not to be discounted because it's how a lot of us get the freedom to live the lifestyle that we want, which we call retire early lifestyle. But the bottom line of all of it is this: whether you got a lot of money or you don't, being diligent, industrious, and rich frugal will put you in a position of being super confident that no matter what happens in life, your lifestyle doesn't change. And because of that, you can feel confident in being a generous person and a giving person. And you don't have to be somebody that's afraid to give and be a giver instead of a taker, because you know what you can do. All right, so I hope you got something out of that. Thanks for coming to the channel.